I
work
hope
out in the long run.
I hope that I actually do hope they make another season actually because I would love to see the American Dragon on Total Bellas start memeing on John Laurinaitis. You have live footage of John Laurinaitis in his living room calling somebody in his underwear saying, "Hey, bud, you're fired."
What did Max Caster say about me?
Like I'm embarrassed the fact that I'm hosting a post show for this crap.
I'm proud of you, Carl. I love this.
We did our Valentine's Day post of Hooked on You, but it was mainly for Jamie Hayter and only Jamie Hayter.
It's not right. It's not right. I'm trying to build an account and we get this bullshit on the account. Great. But
So follow a simp account.
okay. Okay, but here's the thing, because those people, this is networking. This is
we actually
networking.
follow.
You got
it was a business decision.
It's a business. It's a business. You have to follow these people. This is like following. If you want a stan account, you got to follow the other stans. And when you get big, you get rid of them. You get rid of them after that. It's over with.
I open up our Instagram and the first thing I see is Pro Wrestling Simp, and I'm like, what is this?
I don't look at that. I don't look
at
that
stuff.
Decision. It's a business decision because that guy promotes us, and then when we don't need him anymore, we toss him aside. That's what happens.
Yeah, well, we got go fucking slap it on a t-shirt and continue to use the move forehead. It's Monday, guys. You know what that means. It is time for your first dose of the Pro Wrestling Injection right here on the Pro Wrestling Injection YouTube and Twitch. It is too early for me, so I am very tired, but I am the Outlaw. I'm here joined by Mr. Marathon himself, Mike, and down below the Goon Christian. We had a hell of a show last night that had absolutely drained us emotionally and like overall physically, so that's why you're getting us right now.
I was drained emotionally going into the pay-per-view last night.
Well, yes, because you're a Rangers fan and you were watching the Rangers win.
Thank God.
All right, so Christian, I'm gonna have you lead us in as I do our our pre-production stuff on for YouTube. So, kick us off.
So, this was a very, very, very good pay-per-view. I'd say one of the best shows of the year. Great stuff for the 5-year anniversary of the company. But just going down the card here, we started off with the buy-in, and which it was the buy-in because it was double or nothing this time. But we had to start off Deonna Purrazzo versus Thunder Rosa. And this is a pretty good match between the two. Obviously, they were holding stuff back because this is not the end of their feud. Deonna won by
nefarious means.
Nefarious means. She held the rope during a roll-up, so she cheated to win. Deonna and Thunder Rosa are probably headed for a probably like a hardcore match on like a Collision or a Rampage, or somewhere else. But yeah, they're not finished at all. So I'm glad that they can still gonna have something to do though. These two.
Yeah.
And then after that, we had the Cage of Agony versus the Acclaimed.
As soon as Max called Brian Cage saying that he has a tiny dick, I was like, okay, so the Acclaim is winning here.
No, it wasn't that for me. As soon as I saw the mascot out there, I'm like, all right, yeah, this is just one of those happy, if you like, have put the crowd up before the show starts. As soon as I saw the mask, I'm like, all right, yeah. And the buy-in that was actually important. They had the announcement that the Owen Hart Foundation tournament is gonna kick off soon, and it's gonna end in Calgary again in July. I think it's July 18th. Is the finals, and the winners of each tournament for the men and the women will challenge respectively for the AEW World and Women's World titles at All in Wembley. So this is an extremely important tournament now. This is very, very important. So we have to see a bracket before we start talking But this just took that tournament to a whole nother level, and I'm very excited for this new change because it's going to make everything mean a lot more because that's a very that's a big time decision. Who's going to win that tournament and big time uh just that there's probably going to be, even with this announcement, there's probably going to be even a lot more names in the tournament when it comes to talent wise trying to get that title match. So very excited for that. But then that kicked off the main show, and the main show started with the international title match between Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong, and this was an excellent way to open the show. This was a great opener. This was an unbelievable match. I mean, you could say that. I mean, Ospreay. I mean, you could
The
put him in
man
there
can
with
do no wrong.
you could put him in there with a lampshade, and you'll probably get an excellent match out of it. But but yeah, it's it's ridiculous how good he is. But Roddy's no slouch to it. It takes two to tango. But Roddy looked fucking unbelievable in this match. This is one of best. This might have been Roddy's best match of his career, singles wise. That I've seen. I mean, he had some great ones in NXT and Ring of Honor. But this one here was unbelievable.
They had me for a moment. I thought Roddy actually was going to win.
Yeah, I was about to say they had a really great spot where the Undisputed Kingdom uh, got involved, where Taven and Bennett started distracting ref, and then Wardlow came out, um, put Osprey down, but then fucking
Wardlow's
Roddy,
face when he got caught, though,
he
was
got caught. He got
out of
caught. It's like, oh shit, I got caught.
He's just like,
He didn't care. He did not care at all. Which is evident. And that's where they go with the story here, that he's not even trying. Um, but um, but yeah, the great near fall where Roddy hit like three fucking moves and then hit the end of Heartache. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna have this guy beat him. But nope. Osprey kicked out. There was a scary spot early into the match.
oh yeah.
Where Taven and Bennett did the Doomsday device, which it's actually a great move. They do it all the time in Ring of Honor. It's just Taven got hung up on the rope going over. Um, and basically, if Taven hit it the way he was supposed to, he would have pushed Osprey. Um, and Osprey would have just fell on his stomach, but he didn't push him enough, and Osprey kind of landed on his right on top of his head, like his forehead. He landed literally on his forehead, and that was scary.
I thought he landed
But,
on his neck. That's why I made the comment saying, "Thankfully, he's been housebroken by Japan, or else like taking a neck bump like that is not good."
You know a spot is bad when I message in the group chat in all capital letters OMG.
he didn't land on his neck, thankfully. He landed on his forehead, but it looked like his neck because he looked like he like jammed it.
Yeah, it looked like he scorpioned himself.
Yeah, but he's all good.
Thank God.
He was at the scrum. He finished the match. I mean, he's all good. But thank God. But
Give the man some
but
ice.
but yeah. The match ended with Osprey in the corner, and then Don Callis came up to him and told him to hit the Tiger Driver 91, which Osprey Don was getting his head. Osprey was like psyching himself up to go do it. Then when he was about to go do it, he at the last moment he thought better of it and didn't do it because he didn't want to hurt anybody else. Roddy almost beat him after that, but then Osprey hit the hidden blade, and then got him up for the Stormbreaker and pinned Roderick Strong, and Will Ospreay is now the new AEW International Champion. I think this is the right way to go. You can't beat this guy yet. There's a whole thing you could do where whoever is the first person to beat Ospreay is gonna be a big deal. He's gonna elevate that title, no pun intended. With the the international title is probably gonna be the biggest it's been under Will Ospreay. Ospreay said at the scrum he'd love to take it to Rev Pro, like how Pac did, or other indies, and
He's taking that shit to Uganda.
or have other indie promotions, top guys come to him and wrestle him for it. So, Ospreay, I mean, this title belt is going to be probably the highest position it's ever been, with Will Ospreay. So, very happy with this result. They did not need to be beating him yet. He is an enigma in there, in terms of in-ring quality, even in promos. His promos have been unbelievable. But yeah, I'm very excited to see what Ospreay does with the belt, who he ends up wrestling at Forbidden Door, because obviously he's wrestled basically everybody there already, in New Japan, which that's another note about New Japan. When they showed the ad for Forbidden Door, there was no mention of CMLL, so it's safe to say that it's going to be New Japan and AEW just for this one. And they'll probably do CMLL next year when they have more scheduling and more of a probably plan in place how to do it. But Stardom's actually going to be involved too. They just probably didn't mention it because there's probably only going to be a couple women's matches, probably two. But yeah. Very, very good stuff here from Ospreay and Roddy. And yeah, very happy to see Ospreay pick up the victory here.
And after this, we would hear a very familiar sound. Adam Cole's theme.
Yeah.
Gets a big pop from the crowd.
Yeah, so here comes Adam Cole walking like a normal person. He is FF7 Rebirth is over, so he can officially come back to work. But yeah, he gets in the ring. He's talking about how he should be standing here. He should be checking on Roddy after retaining the international title, but that's not the case. But he's talking about how Las Vegas sucks, and when he comes back, he's gonna remind everybody that he is one of the best wrestlers in the world. He takes out the devil mask and he says, and then when it's time, you're gonna give the devil his due.
Before we move on, can we please point out the two great lines that Tony Schiavone had? One, while he was walking down the entrance ramp, he says, and I quote, "What an arrogant ass." And two, as he's cutting his promo, he goes, "He should get thrown out of his own house."
Yeah, that was funny.
Schiavone was on a fucking roll.
Yeah, Schiavone was in rare form tonight. Last night.
I'd love to see it.
But yeah. Fucking, what's it called? After that, the lights ended up going out. And they turned back on, and then just Adam Cole in the ring, and then
you see a POV shot.
We had a vignette of a person walking in the house with the MJF's theme song, like the orchestrated version that he uses a couple times, and then he's in this room where there's a bunch of MJF's memorabilia from all his moments in AEW. They had the poker chip that he won,
the dog collar,
from the Punk match. He had an Adam Cole on the boat. He had the promo with Regal, the promo with Punk. He also had the tuxedo from Dinner Debonair. And he also had, I'm trying to figure that. Oh yeah, he had trying to look. Oh no, that's just part of the room. But anyway, but yeah, he had all of his greatest hits and his greatest moments in this room. And then it's like a POV shot. Yeah, and then he took out from the suit on the mannequin a picture of Adam Cole and him, and they're both split into pieces. And then he put them together, and then the lights go out. They come back onto Adam Cole, and then the crowd starts booing because they think he's not coming out. But all of a sudden, when they start, MJF's music hits, and here comes MJF
This
dressed in
motherfucker.
Dressed in Triple H's return jacket with the fucking leather jacket with the jean vest over it.
Remember, that's when he returned at the
When he came
Garden.
back. Yeah, that's when he came back. And shit, that was one of the biggest props in wrestling. This was a huge pop here for MJF. I did not expect MJF to come back tonight, last night. But I probably should say tonight because this show ended literally today.
Yeah, and at like one, no,
a couple hours ago.
and then like at 12:50.
Yeah, but MJF comes out, he gives a hug to Adam Cole and then smashes him in the nuts. You can see that coming from a mile away. And then MJF gets on the mic and delivers a classic MJF promo. Excellent MJF promo. And he said, "Get this fucking sack of shit. Get this shit stain out of my ring." And he's gonna talk to him while they're dragging his lifeless body out of here. And MJF, he gave this extremely impassioned promo about how he's finally back. He's gonna do.
It's none of this rah bullshit anymore.
He's not gonna be any of this rah happy bullshit anymore. He's just back to hate.
And he said, just like the rest of the people in the back, I don't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF because MJF made MJF.
Yep.
I fucking love that line.
That was a great line. A lot of people saying, "Oh my god, why is he?" Listen, a lot of the guys in the back are Vince McMahon, WWE talent, and New Japan talent. So, and MJF is not either of those. He does not fit into either of those classes. So it's a completely fine thing to say, and that's obviously what on par with MJF because MJF had made MJF, like he said. He also said that he wants to remind everybody that he's the best wrestler in the world. Nobody in the back laces boots. And the first thing I thought of when he said that is like, this guy's on a collision course with Will Ospreay eventually, and that's going to be an unbelievable fucking thing. He picks up the devil mask and he says, I hate this thing. It symbolizes the end of 2023. I never want to see it again. It makes me sick." He stomped on it, and then he ended up giving an elbow drop to it, and that's probably presumably the end of the devil mask for good. But he told if people don't like it, they could suck a whole bag of dicks. And then the crowd started chanting "bag of dicks."
Nope. It was a whole bag of donkey dicks.
Donkey dicks.
He did it in the most strictest New York accent in the world.
Yeah. After he started after he threw the devil mask into the crowd, he said if it wasn't painfully obvious enough
to all you fucking marks.
It's all you fucking marks over the last couple months. I just want to show you guys something. And then he pulls up his one of his pant legs and he says, "Zoom in." And he has a tattoo of a poker chip with the AEW logo on it. It says "Bet on yourself." Which on the other side he actually has. I've known this for a couple of years now, but he has a Creator Pro tattoo on his shin. But it says "Bet on yourself." It has a poker chip with the AEW logo on it, and he says, "Well, you might as well call me the Wolf of Wrestling because I'm not fucking leaving." And the crowd erupted. Obviously, we all knew MJF re-signed.
Yeah.
I mean, he just said it wasn't painfully
obvious.
And
And that immediately became a T-shirt too on Pro Wrestling Tees. The Wolf of Wrestling.
Everything's a T-shirt.
I'm not fucking leaving.
So MJF is here for the long haul. I don't know what the details of that deal is, how long it's for, but if this guy's out here fucking giving this impassioned promo with a fucking AEW tattoo on him, I think he's here to stay for a long time. So it's unbelievable. It's excellent to see MJF back in the fold. I mean, he's irreplaceable on this show and in this company. So it's great to have him back, and that's gonna even be a bigger boost to AEW and what they're doing right now with MJF returning.
Yeah.
So very excited to see him back.
Oh yeah.
Then what was after this? I didn't take any
And after this,
notes.
we had the
Death
trios match.
Triangle versus
Yeah,
the Bang Bang Gang.
Yep. We had Death Triangle versus the Bang Bang Gang for the trios championships. I just want to pay mention to this beforehand. Um, with them kind of reverting, not reverting, but like they're just saying they're the Bang Bang Gang. People thinking they're not part of Bullet Club anymore, which they kind of really haven't been because they haven't been acknowledged as Bullet Club. But you gotta remember they still are, and I think that's gonna be evident going into Forbidden Door because the House of Torture in New Japan, they're basically a separate faction other than the Bullet Club, but they're still technically like a sub faction of Bullet Club. And they're not even referred to as Bullet Club House of Torture. They're just referred to as the House of Torture. They have their own merch. Bullet Club logo isn't even on it. If you were a new viewer, you'd have no clue that they're part of the Bullet Club. So that's kind of the same thing I think they're going with here. And I just want to pay mention to this. Because at the media scrum, it was Tony Khan and Hiroshi Tanahashi on it for the entire thing. And there was a great tweet from fucking Gabe Kidd, the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. And if you don't follow Gabe Kidd, you have to because his tweets are fucking hilarious, and he's fucking so funny. Because he's such a fucking psycho nutcase, that he always goes after Gabe Kidd. He always goes after Tony Khan on Twitter, and he always goes after he spit on Tanahashi. And when he was cutting a promo in New Japan before, so he don't give a fuck about no management. But he posted a picture of Tony and Tanahashi at the media scrum. And he goes, "Couple of pussies. If we're talking Forbidden Door, you better mention me and the dogs, or I'll fly myself and slap the shit out of you both." So I can't wait because he said he's only gonna wrestle on Forbidden Door if he gets a big bag, which he's full of shit. And I just really hope the War Dogs have some sort of appearance on Forbidden Door because Drilla, Clark, Gabe, and David, I think them going at it now. Now there's an equal 4-on-4 you can have, which we're about to get into. But getting into this match, this was another fucking great match. I mean, you put Pac in the ring, and Pac and the fucking Lucha Bros in there with Jay White. And the Guns ain't no slouch either. But Jesus Christ. I mean, you're asking for some great stuff. But yeah, these guys went at it. This was a fucking excellent fun. It's such a great fun match. And it was great because the crowd got to recover, from the early match, and then the MJF segment, and then they had enough energy for this match. But yeah, great stuff here.
Pac had an amazing sell spot.
Listen,
where he took the DDT.
I was about to mention this. I was saying this literally as it happened. There's nobody better in the history of pro wrestling at selling the DDT other than Pac.
Bro, he's literally
Pac seizes.
Pac could get fucking a DDT. Could take a DDT from a fucking jobber, and he'd sell it like he just got fucking shot in the neck. So I mean, he's just the best at selling DDTs. I've never seen anybody else do it like him. And it's such an easy thing to do. Just fucking tilt your body up. It's all just do it fast, and that's all it's gotta look like. But yeah. Anyway, Pac.
Makes it look so fucking easy.
Yeah, Pac. He ended up trying to go up for the Black Arrow on a lifeless Jay White, but all of a sudden the crowd erupts into a huge ovation for the returning Juice Robinson to knock Pac off the apron. I'm at the top turnbuckle, and Jay ends up hitting the Blade Runner on Pac. He pins Pac, and the Bang Bang Gang retain their titles.
I hope they do I know when they were doing the tag teams, when AEW was first coming around, they were doing the tag titles. They were not going to do the Freebird rule. I hope for the trios title, they do the Freebird rule. Let Juice and the Guns have this, and then have Jay do singles.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Please.
I would
think
be
that'd be the
really.
best course.
I think that I mean I think that'd be fine. I'd actually be for that. I'd do that, but I don't think they're gonna do it yet, just because of the impending
Well, no,
Forbidden Door.
but I'm just saying, like overall, though, I think if they already
Yeah,
keep
you
it
could have
past for
you could
Forbidden
yeah
Door, I think
you could still have Jay defend it as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think if they can just retcon their saying of not implementing the Freebird rule, do the Freebird rule for the trios title, and let Juice and the Guns have this title more so than it be Jay and the Guns.
yeah. But if it calls for it, Jay could still absolutely defend the
Yeah.
title. Um, or it can like you could swap out like Austin and you do Colton, Juice, and Jay. You could do
Well, yeah,
anything
because
like that.
Austin's going to be put on that back burner because after the promo on Wednesday, this past Wednesday.
No, this has been going on for a
Okay.
couple months.
I've not been
This has been
noticing that.
no, he this has been going on actually since the inception. When like they were getting their nicknames, even when they had Cardblade, they would always fucking like Jay would always be bothered or like not like include Austin. So that's something that to uh keep in mind. Which they're not gonna break up the Guns.
Yeah.
Especially not now, but yeah, I think that would be a good way to do things. I don't see them like taking the belt off Jay and just putting it on Juice. They could all defend it if they want to. Good stuff here. I'm so happy to have Juice Robinson back. He was sorely missed. He was the one of the breakout stars of Collision in like the early days of Collision. So very happy to see Juice Robinson back, and that means too. Obviously, I want to see Jay in more single stuff, but him and Juice as a tag team. I mean, you got to remember those matches with FTR. I would love to see them against anybody, in a tag match too. So yeah. After this, we had the AEW Women's World Championship match between Serena Deeb and Timeless Tony Storm.
Another very good match.
This was one of the best women's matches this company's ever produced. This was a fucking great match. I really, really enjoyed this. This shit was so good. It took a minute to get going, but it was very, very good at the end. Especially like the last 5 minutes. This was really, really good. There was a very, very curious spot later on into the match where Mariah May Tony was in the Deeb had Tony in the Serenity Lock, which Mariah May was in a couple weeks ago when she wrestled Serena, and then Tony ended up throwing in the towel for her. But then seemingly when Tony was in it, Mariah was seemingly gonna throw in the towel, and Luther was ended up stopping her. But then Tony ended up getting to the rope, and then fucking Tony goes into the outside and goes. She starts laying into Luther, thinking he was gonna throw in the towel for her, and then Mariah was just standing like, "I didn't do nothing." So that was very curious. It's the first real sign of, all right, she's gonna try to. She's probably gonna start to fuck her over, or try to sabotage her, because obviously they're following that movie, All About Eve, and this is what happens in that movie. This is the first little sign, of them being a little friction between the two, because she did throw in the towel for her, but Tony ended up giving Serena a Storm Zero from the top rope, which was crazy. And then she hit another one. And then that was the end of Serena. Tony retains the title. Great match. Fucking great match from both of these women. That's exactly what this was going to be. Serena had no shot of winning, but she was put in there to have a great match with Tony Storm, and that's what she did.
I will say, at this point of the show, I was getting kind of annoyed that some of these matches were having people involved in them, and how the outcome happened, with either it be interference or distraction wise.
This one didn't bother me because
it almost was every match where someone was
It didn't bother me because all of them made sense, and all of them you kind of had to.
Yeah, well, this one especially made sense.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and especially and it's like the Osprey one, like obviously that had to happen. And Juice returning. I mean, obviously that was fucking
We all
great.
saw
And-
that
Yeah,
coming.
Yeah, we
that-
also
I
saw
was
that
okay
coming
with
in.
that one, but I'm sorry, like
Yeah, it wasn't-
it got way too persistent.
I don't know.
Going
This
in.
wasn't Vince
I
Russo
wasn't bothered. I wasn't
TNA
bothered.
interference for me. So
Yeah,
it's,
I wasn't
everything
bothered by
made
it.
sense.
Yeah, I wasn't bothered because because it made sense, and it's like I wasn't even thinking about it because like all of it just how that's just how the card fell. And there was a lot of other matches that didn't have that. That's just how the card fell. And I like and that's actually speaking about that I thought the match order tonight was fucking great. I think everything was paced well. But I do want to mention this. Mariah, I think she's gonna end up winning the Owen on the women's side. And I think that's how she's gonna get her title match against Tony at Wembley. Because obviously Jamie Hayter is still an uncertainty. I think as soon as they announce them that the men and women's Owens is gonna lead to whoever's gonna go to Wembley and challenge for their respective title. First person I thought it was Mariah May. I think Mariah May is winning that tournament. And that's how you're gonna get to Tony and Mariah at Wembley, because obviously at Forbidden Door they're gonna do Mina and Tony, and that's even gonna cause more friction between the two because of Mina's relationship with Mariah May. And after Forbidden Door, what's next? Wembley. So
I had to catch myself.
Great buffer.
I almost like, because at that point it's gonna be for the custody Mariah with Tony and Mina at
yeah.
I almost said it will be a Mariah on a pole match, and I had to stop myself. Full stop.
And could we see Jamie return at Wembley, possibly?
I think that's probably where it happens because she's not ready yet. I think that's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
At this point, because she's not going to wrestle on the show, might as well have her big return in her home country. But yeah, great stuff there from those ladies. Next up, we had the straight up wrestling match between Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta.
The wrong person
Trent
won this one.
Logo. Trent had his new theme song, and Orange had his old theme song.
As much
cool.
as
He had a black T-shirt on, not a white T-shirt.
So as much as I am a huge Orange Cassidy fan, I think Trent should have won.
I actually, after seeing how it was executed, I'm cool with it because they obviously have a plan with Trent, and with obviously we're gonna talk about the finish, but
I think
obviously with Callis involved, there's something here, with how this ended.
I would like to
that
think
was
we're
actually
getting
interesting.
we're getting double swerved on this Don Callis thing, and I think Trent's gonna join up with Stokely and Statlander, because remember, back when Trent initially turned, he whispered something to Statlander backstage.
Yeah,
Yep. But that's the thing. I don't think that'll happen soon. I think Trent's gonna go away for
Well,
a
no,
bit.
but I'm saying that I think we're getting a double
It's that
swerve,
yeah,
because this Wednesday we're getting a new member to Don Callis' family, apparently.
yeah, it's that, or he's gonna end up with Don. But I thought, but just first talking about the match was very, very good. These two had a great match.
Question: like, how far out is Mark Davis from returning?
We don't know.
We don't know. Could he potentially be the next signing then from Don if it's in the right time frame?
Yeah, but you see, I mean, it
Could you have a
be
big guy to kind of fill Powerhouse's shoes?
Weren't they associated with him before he got injured, though?
Well,
no,
but he basically already is, because he's obviously Kyle and Osprey are with him. So it's like, I don't think they would even have to do that for Davis, to be honest. Like, I don't even think that's even necessary, because Davis is already linked to Kyle. Kyle already said when he comes back, they're just gonna resume as Aussie Open as Kyle's doing his single stuff. and Osprey, those are his boys. So I don't
Yeah.
think he even got to do that for Davis. And the way they're making a big deal out of it, I don't think it would be Davis.
Okay.
But just the match was great.
Yeah, it
I really
was.
enjoyed the work here. I really enjoyed the work here from these two. Um, the match ended with Trent getting rolled up by Orange for the victory, and Trent was visibly frustrated. Don was very happy on commentary. After the match, Trent leaves and he's about to get interviewed by Renee, and Rocky comes up to him. He's like, I don't know. I can't do this anymore. And then he leaves through the crowd. So it's like a thing where he's gonna go away for a bit and then come back. Like he doesn't know what his place is, and I think that's what could be a thing with Stokely and Chris Allen gets involved, or Don Callis, where he joins
Mhm.
up with them. But Orange wins the match. I'm fine with it in execution because obviously we thought going in Trent should win, but there's obviously a bigger plan in place with Trent, and that's complete. That's even when it comes to predictions, because obviously when we do predictions, we don't know about this shit happening. I completely fine with now because there's a plan in place. If there's no plan in place, then it's like okay, then Orange should have lost. But there's a plan with Trent. He's gonna probably go away for a bit, and you have this thing with Orange Cassidy and Don Callis that Don did. We'll just talk about it now. Don did a backstage segment in the show and said he's going to present a contract for the Don Callis family on Dynamite. He did. A lot of people are misconstruing it and saying he's going to present Orange Cassidy with it. He never said that. He said he's going to present a new Don Callis family member a contract at
Mhm.
Dynamite. He never said he's going to present Orange Cassidy with one. He said he's going to present a contract. So I think it's a big swerve, and I think Orange is getting fucking attacked by somebody. It could be Trent, but I don't know if it's going to be him. It could be somebody else. So we'll see where that goes, but very, very good stuff from these two. And I'm fine with the result of Trent losing because obviously Trent is in for something when he
Yeah.
comes back. And
And
there's breaking news here, just quickly. Um,
Mark Henry news.
Yeah, Mark Henry's he's leaving AEW. His contract comes up tomorrow. So that obviously makes sense.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah. He said, "I am not going to renew. I'm not going to be renewing my deal. I think it's a mutual thing. If I can't dedicate 100% of myself, then it's only fair for both parties to end the relationship on a positive note." So there's nothing wrong with that at all. Um, but yeah. So after this, we had the For the World triple threat
So
match
remember how we
between
talked about
Hook,
how
Katsuyori Shibata, and Chris Jericho.
that thing how the Jericho thing on the FTW belt is a sticker. No, that's an actually like embroidered on
Yeah, I
that
know.
plate.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sticker that they just
It
slapped
was
on.
the first week, and then they put it on it.
Oh my god.
The first week Jericho had it, was a sticker, and then they put it on it the next week.
Oh my god.
And
Ugh.
and it's not like it's a plate, so they could take it off. They could screw it off. So what's it called?
So that's to be two weird holes at the top of the FTW title when they take it off.
but yeah. Uh, as soon obviously I thought Jericho was gonna win this match going in anyway, but on his entrance, on like the middle Tron, it said for the world champion 36 days. As soon as I saw that, yeah, he definitely not fucking losing. It's the first time he's had that. But yeah, this was fine. This was probably the weakest match on the card.
Yeah.
And just kind of the makeup of the match because they kind of got lost in some points. But you have an old veteran there to drive stuff. You had a guy who's doesn't speak English, and you have Hook who's still relatively new, and green. But the spots like the match itself could have been better, but the spots were great. I thought some of the spots in this match were really good. Um, they had a bunch of they were fucking wrestling in a fucking whole like fucking pool of dice for the entire match. And then one of the best spots of the match was Hook and Shibata taking fucking dice and just start fucking pelting them at Jericho. I just the image of Shibata just throwing dice at fucking Jericho was funny as fuck.
That was
So
And that was my
It's like
favorite part about this.
jumping.
Yeah, my favorite part about this entire match is just Shibata being in. Like, what the fuck?
So
It's like I never thought I'd see Shibata in some shit like this.
the worst thing was, so I was watching this with my friends, and one of them is my dungeon master for D&D, and this motherfucker said,
"What the fuck did you say?"
And this motherfucker is like, man, that's a lot of damage right there. I'm like, I fucking hate you. I fucking hate you for making a goddamn
No, I actually said that.
D&D
I actually said that
joke.
to my. I actually said that to my mom. I was like, he should have fucking instead of the fucking dice that he should have got all the fucking Dungeons and Dragons dice because aren't those ones like spiky and shit? Like, that would fucking suck. Like no, like the 12 ones.
You know, I have D&D dice at my desk.
Yeah,
at all
that would have
times.
hurt. That would have hurt a lot more.
Oh yeah, no, it does hurt. Yeah, like it's like stepping on a fucking Lego.
Yeah, but just I would have rather laying it on a regular dice than that shit.
But it had to fit the casino.
Yeah, I understand that.
Build.
But yeah, so there was a crazy spot where Hook gave a T-bone suplex to Big Bill through a table on the outside, and people are saying Big Bill almost got impaled, which that shit would not have impaled him. Number one, that was a cylinder.
It would have ruined his night.
It would have fucked him up, but it wouldn't have impaled him. But that shit came up. So basically, Big Bill, like, he landed at the table here. The bar was right here. And then the best part about the spot was he goes through the table. He starts to sell. He stops selling. He looks at the thing. He's like, oh, fuck. And then he goes back to selling. And then he's like, oh, shit, I almost fucking died. But that was a great table bump from Big Bill. Then there was a crazy-ass Death Valley driver from Shibata with Hook onto Jericho on a table in the corner. Which looked like it sucked even more because the table didn't break.
Yeah.
And then Shibata just threw Jericho through the table anyway. Then Shibata, he had a heel hook onto Chris Jericho. Actually, not a heel hook. He had a figure four onto Chris Jericho, and then fucking Hook put the red rum onto Chris Jericho, just like how they did to Brian Keith on the Dynamite show last week. But all of a sudden, a masked man comes in and starts beating up Hook and Katsuyori Shibata, and it's revealed to be Brian Keith, which was teased on Collision because he said this isn't the last. He went up to Jericho. This is not the last you've seen of me. That was a tease. I don't know if he's a part of the learning tree, but they did say on commentary that Chris Jericho hired a bounty hunter. So I don't know if he just hired Brian Keith to take these guys out.
He wanted to hire a dog, but dog couldn't do it.
But Brian Keith ended up screwing them over. Jericho put Shibata in a trash can, and then he hit Hook with a Judas effect, I believe, and pinned Shibata to retain the for the World Championship. So it seems Jericho. I mean, obviously Jericho wasn't losing this early into this new character. So Prince Nana just tweeted out 3 minutes ago, "On God, Nick Wayne is a little bitch." But anyway,
all right.
But yeah, anyway, I think that's probably the end of Hook and Jericho
For now.
I think that's it, and Shibata. I think that's it for a bit. I think I mean Hook and Shibata are probably gonna get singles matches with Brian Keith. Anyway, so we'll see. But after this, we had the IWGP Eliminator match, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match between Konosuke Takeshita and Jon Moxley, and this was a great fucking match. This is real good. Moxley's arms it was heavily taped up. Pilmanized shoulder on Collision. But these dudes out here working. Oh my God, this is psychological fucking match here. Great stuff between the two. Really, I mean, it was all selling him Mox. Takeshita, he was completely dialed in on damaging his shoulder, even though it was a little bit of a match. And I do want to mention that this is AEW's decision. This is all under new jurisdiction. So they give out the IWGP matches. If they say they want to be eliminated, they're going to be eliminated. They want to be title match. I think there was a lot of backlash from New Japan fans and wrestlers in New Japan for the Hobbs match before it happened. But maybe that IWGP title match, because a lot of people in New Japan were here to just get a title shot, and then you have the random match on. So I think that's why I think it would have been a title match if that backlash wasn't there. But yeah. Takeshita and Mox had a great on that match. This was fucking great. Later on, when Takeshita beat the shit out of Mox, and there was some point, oh my god, it's about for me to beat him. Cal's like on the outside, like, you know what, kill him, finish him. He slides there into the ring. And as he was doing the Mox hits a fucking curb stomp to Takeshita right on the chest. Oh shit. And then it gets him up the Death Rider. And then Takeshita, what do he Takeshita not getting a title match. However, this is actually a bigger storyline than is what is easy because this is just a fun format. Takeshita is going to be on the door anyway. And Mox haven't had on it. But they did mention that that Minion is going to be evil and John Moxley for the IWGP World Championship. And obviously Mox is coming in heavy damage. And we know that how George Evil they like fuck around. And I have no doubt in my mind that Mox is going to be retained. They're not the belt on Evil. They weeks before or from the door. So we don't know who's going to challenge. Who's going to challenge Mox to the IWGP World Championship yet?
Alright, hold on one moment. We're having audio issues, apparently. Let me... I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, robotic.
Okay. No, I don't know what's happening on my end. I need to flip audio properties around real quick, so hold on.
Stand by.
I swear to God, Zach was like looking out at Christian wasn't ringing, and I'm just like, oh shit, my computer is freeze. Zach sounds fine on the stream.
I know. I'm listening to it.
Yeah, me and Christian sound terrible.
I don't know what's happening. That's what happens when we have to stream in the morning, folks. Okay, I don't know. I can't get this thing on my screen, but okay. Talk, guys, because I'm on a delay, so I could hear it from here.
I sounded okay, Christian.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, let's see. I'll probably listen to it live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. Well, I have the fucking audio property thing on my screen, but I can still end stream when I can. Okay, cool, whatever.
All right. So just back to the Mox match.
Thank
great
you,
stuff
Andy,
here.
for that heads up. Appreciate it.
All selling from Mox here in this match. Great stuff. He hits the curb stomp on the chair. That Don slid into the ring and hit the Death Rider to win. Mox, he's probably gonna get somebody at Forbidden Door. I don't know. I really think it's probably gonna end up being Yota Tsuji or somebody else, but obviously Evil's gonna damage his arm even more, and I think Mox maybe even drops the title at Forbidden Door.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure who that's to. Maybe Naito could challenge again and get his rematch to get his title back. But we'll see. But after this, we had the barbed wire steel cage match between Malachi Black and the Radar superstar Adam Copeland. And Malachi, he came out doing his normal stuff. He looked, but that was the thing though about Malachi. He was like so animated. He wasn't like all calm like he usually does. He was like fucking, hey, he was like fucking doing all that stuff. Um, and all of a sudden, the lights turn red, and all of a sudden we hear Slayer's "South of Heaven," which he also came out to at his last WrestleMania at WrestleMania 39. He came out to this before he wrestled Finn Balor at in the Hell in a Cell match. So he has the whole Brood entrance. He even says the Brood on the Titantron. But yeah, he's coming out the South of Heaven. This was a cool ass entrance. I love South of Heaven. I thought that was a great song. So this is a really cool entrance. And then we got the match kicked off here. Malachi busted open bad, right from the get go because fucking Copeland was carving him up with the barbed wire. There was tables in the ring. There was barbed wire bats, barbed wire chairs,
Spools of barbed wire.
Spools of barbed wire on the cage, barbed wire surrounding the top. And it was cool on the pre-show. They actually had Charlie Ramone. If you guys remember Charlie, they actually Lexi interviewed him like a backstage segment about how because he's the guy who makes all the props, and all the bullshit and all the gimmicks for AEW. So they interviewed him how they made the barbed wire steel cage and like the specs of it, which was actually I thought that was really cool. But this was a fucking great match. This was so good. I really enjoyed this cage match here. They're fucking battering each other with the blood. They're both bleeding all over each other. There was Malachi ended up getting hit in the stomach with that barbed wire bat. Fucking Copeland, he ended up getting sunset powerbomb through a table, off the ropes. There was a spot where Malachi was laying on the table and Copeland started wrapping him in barbed wire. He started wrapping this guy up, and then he climbs up to the top rope, the top of the cage, and he's getting ready to jump. What the fuck is this guy thinking? And all of a sudden he goes down completely parallel, and he fucking gives an elbow drop down to Malachi, feet first, and it puts Malachi through the table. This guy's knee has to be fucked up bad.
He has to.
As he was coming down, I was just like, please turn. And then when he came down, I'm like, his knee better not be destroyed, or else I'm gonna slap him.
Randy Savage did this and fucked up his knee for the rest of his career. So this was scary to see. But I will say about this too, like that's the gamble you take when you're doing a spot like that. What do you want to do? You want to land on your hip? You want to land on your feet? You want to land on your stomach? Where do you want to land? And it's kind of a hard decision to make midair.
I'd rather
went down
way land on my
parallel.
hip, if I'm being honest.
He went down way too parallel.
And also, it was very apparent that he fucked up his knee after the match ended too.
Yeah, and it didn't. And I hope he's okay. It didn't really Tony even said. Tony even said at the media scrum that he kind of danced around it, but he didn't really give I don't think he knows yet about the status of Adam Copeland. So somebody asked for an update, and he says, "I hope he's okay." So I don't know if he was still getting checked out, and they still don't know yet. But his knee looked like he did fuck up his knee. But after that spot, there was a spot where Malachi blasted Copeland out of the cage. He just the cage out of the cage door. And
Morning, Tom.
All of a sudden, here comes Buddy and Brody, and then Malachi and Copeland are sitting on their knees face to face, and then Buddy and Brody in the middle. They're looking. This was great. This was a great spec.
Fantastic.
This got me too. Yeah, this was fantastic. But all of a sudden, when Malachi and Brody and Buddy are standing in between, standing right next to Malachi, and then they fucking
Adam stands up.
they turn around. Adam stands up. They turn around, and then they're all facing Malachi, and Malachi's looking like, "What the fuck? What are you guys doing?" And Brody and Buddy are standing there looking like they're about to uh, go and join in league with Adam Copeland. But all of a sudden, just as Adam Copeland starts taking a step to move towards Malachi, Brody fucking takes this guy's head off with a lariat, and it was all a setup. It was all a plan. This was a great little swerve here. This was great. Um, but yeah. So they get into the ring. Malachi hits the end on Copeland.
Should have been it. He should have just fucking pinned him at that point, but no, he wanted to do the extra bits.
But he wanted to do a little bit more. But all of a sudden, they put the barbed wire
with Jesus Christ in the crowd.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jesus Christ was in attendance tonight. He was in attendance. And
they
I
were
thought
booing for that spot too. Because Jesus was in the crowd.
The crowd was chanting Jesus, and I thought he was about to jump the barricade, and get involved in this match. But he puts the crown around him, and then they're starting to chant Jesus, and then the lights start flashing red and black, and Malachi's going, "What's going on?"
He looks up.
Like, what's going on? And I actually thought about this early into the match, and I'm like, nah, I don't think they're gonna have a trap door for this match. But it was funny because I was thinking about this because I had in mind like Gangrel's not gonna show up in this match somewhat. I thought that was obvious. But I was thinking like how because I was thinking of the Kane spot from I remember I think it was when fucking Matt Cardona is getting pulled in during the Cena feud. I was thinking like, I wonder if they do the trap door because I was thinking about the red light, but then they did do the trap door.
Well, remember too, like that's I think to even help with that spot more, like that's the same area where Malachi stabbed with the spool of barbed wire earlier in the match.
It was, yeah. So yeah, here comes Gangrel up from the fucking depths.
Well, no. I know. At first, like we don't see him because Brody looks down to the hole. He immediately gets sprayed with the blood.
No, he got hit with the spool. Because he wasn't even alive. He pushed the spool up to Brody. Brody's like, if something happened, I was like, what? They're like, what happened to Brody? And all of a sudden, here comes Gangrel out from the fucking depths. Buddy rushes over. He's fucking missed Buddy in the face. He starts handing out impalers, but then Malachi hits the end on Gangrel, and that takes out Gangrel. But then Malachi, because he has the wedding ring adorned on him now. He's wearing the fucking the necklace with the stuff on it. But yeah, he hits Gangrel with the end, and he puts Gangrel out. And then Malachi, and then Copeland ends up hitting a spear, and then then he puts in the grindhouse with all the barbed wire onto Malachi. I liked how they did this finish, because you're gonna have Malachi lose. Yeah, if you're gonna have Malachi lose, this is the way to do it. Malachi was not submitted. He went out, and he went out with a bunch of barbed wire wrapped around him. So obviously he's not really harmed in a loss. But Copeland retains the TNT title. This could be the end because I'm like, how do you top something like this? It couldn't, maybe not. We'll see. But hopefully Copeland's fucking leg isn't destroyed because he was limping bad.
If his leg is not destroyed,
but Gangrel.
Yeah, if his leg is not destroyed, I don't think this is the end of the feud.
Yeah, I think that.
I don't think it's the end of the feud either way. But obviously, he has to vacate the title due to fucking up his knee.
If it is the end, then we get a tournament for the TNT title, and hopefully Malachi wins that tournament.
Maybe.
If they do that, I would have all three members of the House of Black in it, and have not necessarily all of them on the same side of the bracket. But you would have to have a match where
in a perfect world for me, for that type of scenario,
2 matches.
I would like the semis to be Malachi and Buddy.
Yeah, because remember, during the feud, it's just like if Copeland loses, he'll bend a knee to the House of Black. But if he wins, it's like maybe Buddy and Brody join me. So I think that in itself signaled this feud is going past the pay-per-view. So
Yeah, I think I don't see. I think it could be the end, but I think it could go past it. I just think even if it does go past it, um, not even that go past it, but I think it might continue, but maybe on a break. Because I think if Copeland's not hurt, they're gonna do something with him and somebody from New Japan. Because Copeland hasn't worked anybody from New Japan ever. Really. Um, so, uh, this is going to be his first Forbidden Door. So I think they're going to really harp on the fact, if he's not hurt, that this is the first time you're going to see a New Japan talent wrestle Edge. So something like that. So we'll see. I mean, Malachi could even be a part of it. If because there's not really supernatural or like guys like Malachi in New Japan really, besides like the House of Torture, but House of Torture is like not supernatural at all. They're just kind of just fucking sleazeball heels. Um, so you'd have to find. I don't think there's really anybody that can match like the darkness of the house. So we'll see. After this, we had uh
he
the
mentioned
the
earlier Don Callis in the back,
yeah
and followed that up with the TBS title match:
yeah
Willow
the
Nightingale
first
versus
the,
the in-ring debut or debuting Mercedes Moné.
the first of our triple main event here at Double or Nothing, which ended up living up to the billing. I don't really like when companies do that, like the double main event or the triple main event, because half the time it's like, all right,
Well, I
maybe
mean,
probably
they
not.
do the double
This
main event thing all the time. So
This
yeah,
was
it's
really
like
fun,
I know,
though.
yeah, I did, yeah. It's just like I'm not. It's like main event's a main event.
I see
but-
what you're getting at, though. It's
Yeah,
just like leave it at the double,
yeah.
don't extend it to. I see what you're
Well,
getting at.
no, not even no, not even a double. Just leave it at one main event. Like, but I get it. I'm fine with it when all the matches live up to their billing, and these did, and so I have no problem with it. But this was the third first of the triple main event. We had the Mercedes Moné versus Willow Nightingale here, and I'm pretty sure. Um, I think this is the case. Um, and I just want to. This is a very small not nitpick.
Mhm.
It's about current wrestling. It's like basically this happens all the time in wrestling. But I'm pretty sure this entire pay per view, the challenger came out first and the champ came out last. It's always been one of my biggest nitpicks about pro wrestling. I hate when the champion comes out first, unless there's like a special entrance for like the challenger where they have to come out first. Then it's like, why are they doing that? But I think every championship match on this show had the challenger come out first, which I like. Because like you could have easily sent Willa out there first because Mercedes is a bigger star and have her come out last, but they didn't do that. But Mercedes had this whole entrance where like is like she's comparing herself. I'm like she is a. I mean, really, they really like. Why is Perk Gable trending? Oh yeah, because somebody in like Saudi Arabia they had instead of a Perk Angle they had Perk Gable, and Chad Gable just posted a picture of him with this coffee blend. This is Perk on it.
God damn it.
See, listen, I'm not an advocate for drug use, but if you want to put Chad Gable on some perks and then just have one match against like Ilya Dragunov, go ahead.
Put him on some perks and have him fight.
Have him go wrestle Dragunov. Just do it. I just want to see what it'll look like. I just want to say, listen, both guys are former Olympians in Kurt Angle and Chad Gable. If you put those two guys on perk 30s, forget it, dude. That's the fucking closest you're ever gonna see to Olympic Greek gods in modern day. Perk Angle is probably the probably peak human form in the history of this world. So just back to the fucking women's match because we on our little Perk Angle tangent. But she can't. But I think Mercedes and the Elite. I think that's bound to happen eventually because she had this whole vignette about how she's comparing herself to Rosa Parks and Amelia Earhart and fucking Billie Jean King. I mean, the only people missing here was fucking Harriet Tubman. I mean, Mercedes might have freed the slaves as far as I'm concerned. But it was such like a fucking ham-fisted women empowerment. I'm fighting for the women. It was like the fucking elite segments where they look like fucking Shinra. And it's like the elite are doing everything in their power from these bad people in AEW trying to harm the company. So I think that's something they could touch upon. But after this they had light bright drummers come out, which this had Vegas written all over it.
Yeah,
Like fucking
they
Naomi
were
must
straight
have,
from the strip. It seemed.
yeah, Naomi must have sent her people, her glow people. So you had the glow drummers, which I thought that was really cool. Then they had the showgirls come out, and then here comes Mercedes. She looked great. And then here comes Willow Nightingale with Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander. But then the match begins, and I thought this match was one of the best matches on the show. This was maybe one of the best women's matches, maybe the best women's match of the year so far. This is one of the best women's matches AEW's ever. They had two of those in each show in this show. So I thought that was a cool thing to see.
Yeah, honestly, all three women's matches delivered.
Yeah. This was a fucking fantastic. This was a fantastic match.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting this because they were having a fantastic match in the New Japan Strong match a year ago before Mercedes got hurt. That match was fucking great. But the match was excellent here between these two. Mercedes didn't even look like she missed a day in there. She obviously was looking like she was protecting herself in some points, but she was really, she really looked completely fine in there. Obviously, and that's the best part about it. She's gonna knock off ring rust, and she's gonna be even better from this point on. And people might have forgot about Mercedes Moné. She's pretty fucking good. In my opinion, one of the greatest women's wrestlers in the ring that's ever lived. I think her and Willow here, great. They're just great opponents for each other. You have the power, and Willow being a bigger woman than Mercedes is, and you have Mercedes being more agile than her, and more prone to do like more counters and more crazy stuff. But I thought this was fucking great. They were selling Mercedes' ankle. Mercedes even went after Willow's ankle in this match. But yeah, just great stuff here from both these women. There was a crazy spot where Stokely and Statlander ended up getting onto the apron after Willow hit a Bay from the powerbomb and it ended up barring her. She had the 3 count. She had Mercedes pinned, but they were fucking distracting her and they fucking fucked up bad. And they were looking at each other like, shit, we fucked up. And Mercedes ended up taking advantage.
I think one thing that should be pointed out is Statlander did try to get Stokely off of the apron, but not immediately.
Yeah.
So that was like the dead giveaway.
That was already the first tease. The finish ended up.
Yeah, that was the dead giveaway that she was turning.
The finish ended up coming from Willow. Went for a cannonball in the corner, but she missed. I think this was it. Actually, no, it wasn't. Willow was gonna go up to the top rope or something, but then Mercedes stopped it, and they ended up getting her on her back. She had her up. She powered her up into the middle of the ring, and then hit her finish, the moneymaker, and pinned Willow Nightingale to become the new TBS champion. This was a fucking great match. Very happy that Mercedes is back in the ring where she belongs. Long overdue. We waited. It was about a year. She was off, so I was very happy to see her back in the ring doing what she does best. And I'm very happy to see her win the title because obviously this company's paying her a lot of money. She's a massive star. She is going to get a lot of brand name recognition. She even said on the scrum, apparently, I don't follow basketball, but apparently the Celtics are in the finals. And she's going to be courtside.
Conference final.
Okay. She's going to be.
Carl must be happy.
Yeah, she's going to be courtside. Well, she's already has been at the game, so that's obviously a free advertisement for AEW. But that's the thing too. I'm sad that Willow had such a short reign, but I think Willow's whole journey to the title is she's
Oh.
gonna end up getting the title back and
Yeah.
beating Mercedes again. But
Just to
that's
clarify, Boston, the Celtics can go to the finals tonight
okay. Um,
If
but
they win.
Mercedes, yeah, but
if they
Mercedes,
win.
I do want to say this about Mercedes too. That's the thing about Mercedes. Mercedes is like the best. Like Mercedes is fucking unbelievable in the ring. So this is probably going to be probably the highest. I mean, Willow and Statlander are no slouch, but this is probably going to be like just like how Osprey with the international. This is probably going to be the biggest work rate person to hold this title yet, and she's going to have unbelievable matches with whoever she's in the ring with. I mean, she's going to have great matches. I mean, like her and Deanna, her and Thunder Rosa, her and Mariah, her and fucking Tony eventually, uh, Willow again, Serena, Athena, Jamie when she comes back, Sheeta. She has so much options uh, for new people to work with, and she's just really, really good. People forget that because she hasn't been in the ring in a year, but Mercedes is unbelievable. So I'm very happy to see her win the title here.
And after the match, Stokely and Statlander would get into the ring. Statlander's trying to console Willow after losing because Willow's visibly upset, even crying even.
Who's also hopping on one leg, basically.
And you have Stokely's like, no, fuck that. This is your fault. This is all your fault.
Yeah, and Statlander pushes Stokely down. Stokely looks shocked,
Like,
and then
this is not the night.
Statlander leaves with Willow.
And I was going, no.
Before they ended up going, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe they're actually gonna just turn Stokely and not Statlander, and like Stokely's gonna get a new client or something like Camille or Megan Bain. But nope. Right before she gets on like to like the start of the ramp, Chris Statlander fucking throws Willow Nightingale onto the ramp, turns heel on Willow,
Takes off the friendship bracelet.
rips it off, throws it at her. And this was a great heel turn because it got a great reaction. This is the first time I believe, I think in her career, because obviously in AEW she's never been a heel,
A
but
proper
I believe
heel.
this is the first time because she wasn't a heel in the Indies. This is the first time Statlander has ever been a heel, and I'm very excited for this because I think Statlander has the makings to be a great heel. I think this is a great opportunity for her because a lot of people are great baby faces, but a lot of people are even better heels. So I'm very excited for this. But that's gonna be Willow's path. Willow's not gonna go and get her rematch right away with Mercedes. She's gonna have to go through Chris Statlander again. She's gonna have to work her way back up. I think she'll end up having to go through more people, but she's gonna end up getting to Mercedes again, and she's gonna probably end up winning her title again. So I'm very excited for Willow's journey because Willow could become a really big babyface out of this. But yeah, next up we had the AEW World Championship match between Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland. Swerve had
fucking great match.
Yeah, Swerve had a The Warriors entrance. This is an old movie from 1979 called The Warriors. And that's what he was dressed up as. People would fucking thought it was Jack Sparrow on Twitter, but no.
People thought it was Jack Sparrow, but yet the opening of Nana going Swerve.
Yeah, I'm like, this
Come
has to be
out
like
to play. I haven't seen the Warriors, and I know that's a Warriors fucking reference.
I didn't know it was a Warriors reference. I just knew. I thought. My thing is, I just knew it was a movie reference that I haven't seen. that was my thing.
Kind of being like within like an old head community of movies. I've heard that reference too many fucking times to not know where it's from, unfortunately and fortunately.
But what's it called? This was an excellent match between these two here. I fucking love this match. This was so good. It was like it was paced extremely well. Christian, I mean, I thought about this halfway into the match. I'm like, there was a point in time where we thought Christian would never come back, and when he did, we're like, oh my god, please don't hurt him. It's like I never thought we would be here in terms of this is where Christian would be at. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I remember when he debuted in AEW and how they built it up and we're like, oh, it's just Christian, and he ended up turning out to be one of the greatest signings AEW's ever did. In terms of Christian Cage, I stand on that.
Because the moment he turned heel, he became the most out-of-pocket human.
It's not even that.
To walk the face of pro wrestling.
It's that his character, but he's having unbelievable matches at his age.
Oh yeah.
It's like he's one of the best vets in wrestling right now, maybe the best. But anyway, this was an excellent match. I fucking love this. Early on into the match, Nana ended up getting handed the title from Mother Wayne, and Paul Turner saw it, and then Nana ended up getting thrown out. Much to the chagrin of the crowd, Nana got thrown out.
Man, the refs across every sport just suck lately. Jeez.
The refs tonight sucked, especially when clearly Bryce Remsburg should have saw fucking Mike Bennett do the fucking bounce off the ropes.
Yeah, listen, the rest. I mean, this isn't even just an AEW.
Yeah, that was egregious.
This wasn't even an AEW issue. You should have watched the fucking Saudi show yesterday, 2 days ago. Fucking with the King of the Ring final with Gunther and Randy Orton. Randy Orton, his fucking shoulder. Randy Orton's literally sideways on the pin attempt, literally sideways. Tournament final. His shoulders up at 2. He didn't even kick out. His shoulders are up. The ref is looking directly at it and counts to 3, and then they have it was so bad they had to have Triple H acknowledge it afterwards. But
yeah, that's pretty bad.
But yeah, it's just just like the NFL, there needs to be a referee fucking clinic within wrestling right now. The only people that don't even actually, I can't even say this anymore about New Japan refs because they used to have the best refs, and I love their refs. It's just they all of a sudden, every time the House of Torture comes out, they're all of a sudden fucking Stevie Wonder and Helen Keller.
Especially Red Shoes.
They just don't know what's going on when the House of Torture show up. It's like, oh shit, fucking, they're definitely not doing the same thing that they've done 300 times. Anyway, Nana gets thrown out. Fucking, these two continue to fight, but then all of a sudden, Nick Wayne and Killswitch get involved on the apron, but Paul Turner sees that, and then they end up getting thrown out. And I love this from the crowd. This is such a cool shot. Because how it's a fucking
it's the wind up and the pitch.
It's one of the best things about seeing somebody get thrown out. They fucking everybody as soon as Paul Turner threw out, the whole fucking crowd's pointing that way. It was actually a really cool visual.
No, but when they did Mother Wayne, that's when the crowd did the perfect unison.
Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. They weren't doing it with Nana because they were pissed off, but I do want to mention this. There was a great fucking thing from Shivani here. Shivani goes, "What a night, what an event," and then the camera cuts to Mother Wayne and goes, "What a bitch." And then I'm like, Jesus. And then Tavaz's like, "Damn, Shivani." But yeah, they get thrown out. They start fighting amongst themselves. They start fighting up onto the table. And then Swerve ends up hitting a swerve stomp onto the table, and the table didn't break, which I don't think it was supposed to. And it looked fucking gnarly, like how it caved in his chest. And all of a sudden, it's fucking right next to him. There's Flash Garment, Swerve's boy. Q from fucking Impractical Jokers, and he's right next to Floyd Money Mayweather. Like, what the fuck? But he gets him back in the ring, near fall. And then there was a great near fall where Christian hit the spear and then the kill switch, and it's like, oh shit. But obviously, Swerve wasn't losing. But this came, then this ended up leading into one of the best spots in the entire match. Swerve's in the corner, and then Nick Wayne's about to run out to interfere, but Nana runs out to chase him off with a pipe. He runs him off, and then they start hitting the ropes, and Christian goes for the spear. But then Swerve, as Christian's midair for the spear, hits the house call kick. Perfectly timed. It was a beautiful spot. It was
Christian
beautiful.
looked like he died.
Yeah, this was an unbelievable spot.
Fantastic.
This was an unbelievable spot. Swerve ends up hitting the swerve stomp, and then hits. Then he goes, "Whose house?" Swerve's house. Hits the house call kick, pins Christian Cage to retain his championship. Great, great first pay-per-view defense for Swerve Strickland. This was an unbelievable match. This was fantastic main event. Well, second main event. Great stuff here from these two, and this is probably it for them. Actually,
yeah.
not even. It is probably this is definitely it for them
Yeah.
because Swerve's about to get a new challenger on Wednesday for Forbidden Door. I don't know who that's gonna
Wednesday's
be.
the Casino Gauntlet match, right?
Casino Gauntlet. So I don't know who's gonna be. Swerve said he wanted to wrestle Shingo, but Shingo logistically cannot be on that show. He's advertised for New Japan that night. So it's not gonna be Shingo, unfortunately. I think, even though he challenged for it for the past two Forbidden Doors, I think Tanahashi is the most likely. Because if you remember going into Forbidden Door last year, who beat Swerve on that collision before Forbidden Door? Tanahashi. So he has a pinfall victory over the AEW World Champion. So I think Tanahashi might be the play here, maybe. He's in town, obviously. He's been. I don't know if he might not be him. But expect international guys to be on that show on Wednesday. I don't know who it could be. Who could challenge Swerve for this title? From New Japan, I'm trying to rack my brain. You could. I think maybe Naito.
You think they're gonna do another 3-way or 4-way match?
No. I think it's gonna be 1-on-1. I think the IWGP and the AEW will both stay as 1-on-1 matches. I think everything else could be maneuvered like that. I'm trying to think. There's. I mean, Shota Umino just challenged for the IWGP, so I don't know if he's going to challenge for AEW. Obviously Yota Tsuji's there. You could do. I don't even want to say his name. I'm not even going to speak that into existence.
No, who? Go on, who?
Not good.
Evil, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. As soon as you said not good, I immediately fucking knew.
We're already getting that, so I don't think they'll run it back that shortly after. Right?
Well, no, Evil and Swerve.
AEW. Oh.
Evil and Swerve, not Evil and Mox.
No, just don't.
But
Please.
But I'm trying to think. Who else here? Let me get the roster.
Well, they showed the prep for the. Oh, that's right. He did this a while ago. No, because I was looking back at because I'll talk about it for the main event when it happens.
I think Sonata is just coming off injury, so I don't think he's gonna challenge. Naito, Ishii, Tsuji, because that's the thing you gotta remember. Fucking AEW has lost a lot. AEW. I mean, fucking Christ. New Japan has lost a lot. Finley, but I think Finley's gonna be involved with Jay. I don't know. Kenta. I don't know. I don't know. Shingo. Maybe. I have no clue. Hiromu. Maybe. Hiromu would actually not be bad at all. We'll see how it shakes out. But yeah. Swerve's gonna get his new opponent. But yeah, this was an excellent match. Great stuff between these two. Great start to Swerve's title defenses on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
And well, guys,
it's time.
It's
For the last time, because Mark Henry's gone.
We're not what? No.
No, we're keeping the shit going.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
but anyway,
yeah. It's time
Don't you dare.
for the main event.
It's time for the main.
Past midnight.
And then-
main event.
The fucking psychopath anarchy in the arena.
And then we go to
It's not-
Justin Roberts. Justin Roberts is like,
Ladies and gentlemen,
time for the shit show.
it's time for the shit show. This is anarchy. I love this. This is why I want Anarchy Arena every year, because I just want to see the new one. This was fucking great.
Someone on Twitter posted like, do you know how like the meme of like the horse on fire, it always ends with like the poorly drawn
yes,
horse.
I saved it.
And this one was the full horse on fire. Because the past 3 Anarchy in the Arenas for the past 3 years have been fucking awesome.
This was so much
And
fun.
Brian's been involved in all 3, I think, right?
Yes, Brian's the only man to be in all 3 of them.
It's crazy. So we open with the EVPs coming out. You got
Nick Jackson.
it's Matthew and Nicholas.
Excuse me.
Can't get fined.
They announced that
Fine 'em.
fucking Roberts is like Justin Roberts. He goes, we're wearing their new Reebok pumps available tomorrow at Champ Sports and Reebok.
I want to see if they're
that was
sold
funny.
out. I want to see if they're sold out
They
by
came
now.
out today, I think.
Well, yeah, but like they dropped at night. So, Champ Sports, take me to your website.
Wouldn't be
Let's
surprised
see.
if they were. People go nuts over sneakers.
But yeah, welcome to the shit show. This is Anarchy in the Arena. But here we go. We had the Matthew and Nicholas Jackson.
It's sold out.
Yeah, I expected that.
I click on the image. The product you're trying to view is no longer available.
Of course.
Oh. But here comes Matthew Nicholas. They got a new coin with actually Okada on it. So I thought that was pretty cool. So they have the Okada coin. Here comes Okada, and then here comes the scapegoat, Jack Perry, with his first entrance back. And they're using his New Japan theme. This is the same theme song he's had in New Japan. So it's I recognized it, and it's not anything new for AEW, but this is the song he was using in New Japan. So here come the Elite. As before Jack could even get to the ring, FTR and Brian, they start jumping the Elite, and here we go. We're off to the races. Fast and Furious here. They start everyone's beating each other around the thing. Darby Allin then comes out. They start playing Darby's music. They're fighting.
Someone forgot to tell Darby to fucking come out and do the attack.
Well, I think this is the reason, because they wanted to keep the music on. But Darby had this mask on, his protective nose shield for his broken nose, but he had fucking thumbtacks all glued to it. Fucking guy's a psycho, and he had half of it painted like his face. So Darby, he's fucking everyone's beating each other up. Darby's music's still playing. Matt Jackson gets on the mic. Cut the music, get this shit off, play our fucking EVP theme song, and for a second I thought they were about to play Cult of Personality, but I'm like, that would have been too much. But then Brian gets on the mic, he says, "No, turn this shit off."
Play the greatest wrestling theme of all time.
And then they start fucking playing a final countdown. Then Dax and fucking them, they're all everyone's in the crowd now.
Darby does a perfectly timed fall.
Yeah, they're fighting up onto the concourse. Darby does the coffin drop onto the pile during like the climax of the song. They're starting they're bleeding each other. The final. God, this was fucking a great visual. This was unbelievable. This was
Daxon
awesome.
and Matthew are fighting into the concourse.
They get to the fucking like the upper deck, and then Matt's like, "Fucking turn the music off. Turn it off. It's supposed to be like $200,000 a minute. This shit's expensive. We on a budget."
We're on a budget, goddammit.
So
and the thing about this is I believe him.
So there you go.
I was shocked when they got the song again.
So there we go. So now we know the official price.
Well,
200,000 a minute. Or no. I think he said it costs us $200,000 every time we play this song. So geez. Also,
I'd be surprised if it was actually higher.
Also, the shoes have not appeared on StockX yet.
Hold on. Lamar Jackson just had a fucking crazy ass quote. He says, on the lowercase, I'm trying to capitalize. Big trust, whoop whoop. Anyway, what's it
Okay.
called? But what's it called? I swear to God, a lot of people were saying this too. Dax's gear with his weight belt he had on, he looked like fucking Ishii. Like there was some points of this match where he was like he was like going up the concourse. I'm like, oh my God, is that fucking Ishii? And he had like he had one shoulder pad on. He had the wrist tape. I'm like this, and he had the black and white weight belt. I'm like, dude, this guy looks like fucking Ishii, like American Ishii right here. And the funny thing is, he kind of wrestles like Ishii too.
So I think a lot of things that I've realized too throughout this match, going towards the back, I think either Matthew or Jack was like, is the camera still on us? I don't fucking know.
Who gives a shit? It's anarchy in there, and you keep fighting.
Because it happened twice. It was like, is the camera still on us?
But fucking what's it called? But here comes Jack.
Yeah, at least they had the common sense to turn the fucking mic down and turn the crowd.
They failed during the fucking Jericho match when you hear Aubrey go, Shibata, 7 minutes.
7 minutes, yes.
That was bad. That was bad.
But Darby and Jack, they're fighting out to the fucking street here, to like the loading bay.
Exactly. But at the same time, I was just like, Jesus, Aubrey, can you say that any fucking louder?
Yeah.
Well, that was just production's fault. That wasn't Aubrey's fault.
Yeah. I mean, she's not as bad as John Cena.
Drop toe hold. Shoulder. I'll
never forget that.
But you can't see him.
I'll never forget that 2018 Royal Rumble. I'll never forget that 2018 Royal Rumble. Shinsuke now. Shinsuke now. Like, Jesus Christ, John, chill.
Honestly, the worst one in AEW was with Junior Dos Santos.
I don't even fucking remember that.
Jericho was like, Junior, because he messed up the timing on the spots so damn bad.
They're fighting after the Congress. Darby fucking dumps fucking Jack into an ice bath,
trying to kill him, drowning him.
Trying to drown.
I mean,
he's trying to drown him. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
and then
Darby
there is
investigated for like 2
there's a weird
first-degree murder here.
Descriptive pile of debris off to the side. I'm like, oh, that's probably gonna get set on fire.
No, but
then we cut away. Then we cut back.
Wrong. We were dead wrong.
Then we go back to
my mom was sitting me. She's like, "Oh, that's getting set on fire." And then I'm like, yeah, it probably is. But then we cut back. We were cutting back to the action, and then all of a sudden we cut back. Here comes a fucking scapegoat bus, and he just fucking crashes right into the pile, presumably that Darby Allin was in. And Jack Perry is dead at the wheel. He's slumped over in the seat. He's fucking dead at the wheel. And then Tony Schiavone's fucking dumbass goes on commentary. Is that the bus that Darby got hit with in New York City? I don't know, Tony.
Do we see minibuses on the streets of New York? Not often.
It's the fucking.
I enjoyed that line way more than I should have.
He should have said it was the scapegoat.
Because you have a motherfucker from New York, Taz, like, no, it was an MTA bus. They're not bringing that shit to fucking Vegas, Tony. Oh, well, okay.
So good.
What's it called? Fucking, they should have called it the scapegoat short bus.
So we then are now kind of back into the action. And like a few minutes later, Jack Perry emerges soaking wet, and I'm like, okay, he's in that fire gel. I've seen stunt performers. What?
Somebody just tweeted something out, guys. After weeks of searching, we finally found the video. Oh my God, we actually found it.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Jack Perry who set himself on fire.
Yeah, it was back in March.
Gel. It's his legs, just like how he did in the match, which we'll talk about.
So he emerges just soaking wet, and at first glance, I knew exactly what it was. Seeing behind the scenes, seeing stunt performers, it was the fire gel. I made a prediction. I think on the Go Home show that someone's getting set on fire. Someone is gonna get set on fire. And it was either Darby was gonna somehow set himself on fire, or Darby was gonna set a stunt performer on fire. Well, it was a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B. It was a wrestler getting set on fire, and so Jack is just coming. He's walking through the back area. He sees Tony Khan, grabs him by the shirt, starts bringing him towards the heel entrance.
Wait. Before we gotta pump the brakes because
that's right. Yeah.
You forgot about one crucial thing. That Rainmaker Drive is now official. Fucking, you got Okada had a street sign with Rainmaker, and let me say this.
That was so great.
This is the most fun.
That
I've
was if
had.
they actually took that off a street because it looked worn.
That was so great.
The most fun. This entire thing is Okada being a part of. He is so out of place with all this. It's like he has never even probably seen this type of shit in a movie, and this guy's out here doing this shit, dude. It's so fucking funny. I'm like, if you told me that at the beginning of the year, Okada would be involved in anarchy in the arena, fucking with flamethrowers and people getting hung upside down and fucking bosses being attacked and final, I'm like, dude, stay off the fucking
Fun
like,
fact: there is a Rainmaker Drive in North Carolina.
Listen, there's a fucking street name for everything.
How far is this from me? Can I steal this sign? It is a 46-minute drive. Ooh.
They might have to do that for the culture.
That's a 14-hour walk. I'll take that walk. Just a 14-hour.
Love of the game.
Go down there, steal a street sign.
But anyway,
I think that could also be a small nod to where Kenny is from with North Carolina. If people want to do a deep dive.
I don't think it is. I think they said we need a street sign that says Rainmaker on it, and then they made that. I think that's literally it.
It's right off of MLK Jr. Boulevard and Skywatch Lane.
All right, so Okada freed the slaves, not Mercedes. God. But anyway,
holy shit.
But okay. So we had fucking Brian.
Is this a gated community?
Matt Jackson, Matthew Jackson. And Nick Jackson. They did an indie ticket of Brian on the poker chips.
But Brian was the most protected in this match ever.
Yeah, you had Nick put
because after what happened last year.
Yeah, Okada do an elbow drop to Dax. I think Dax or Cash do the table. You had Nicholas do the fucking Senton Atomico through the table off the tunnel. I believe to Cash or Dax. But then here comes Jack Perry back, walking, and he's got all the gel and the water all over him. He grabs Tony Khan, and he fucking starts bringing him out to ringside. But here comes Darby Allin with a fucking flamethrower, and he sets Jack Perry on fire. He sets him on fire. And Jack Perry's fucking running around. His legs are on fire. The Bucks fucking start putting him out. The Darby ends up pointing the fucking flamethrower at them. They fucking put the flamethrower and they put him out. People are immediately rush over to Jack to like wipe him off, pat him down, shit like that, which was good.
At least Nicholas had the common sense to, I'm gonna keep spraying Jack for a couple seconds extra.
Yeah, it's like
because
this was really good.
So what that gel does, it protects you, but you still feel the heat from it.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, I would.
It's fire.
So.
It's fucked up, but
it's fire.
Yeah, but Jack, he's fucking he's getting hosed off. Then the boys ended up getting back in the ring.
Also, Tony Khan oversold him rolling down the.
He did.
Fucking.
You
ramp.
see the fucking. You see the rolling. Keep rolling.
Oh, that was fantastic.
That was funny. But then they bring Darby back into the ring. So then Matthew he brings a shoebox out with their new Reebok pumps with thumbtacks all over them.
Then Okada gives them the
Okada goes, try these, just like in the commercial. He says what he says in the commercial. And then Nicholas and Okada end up start tying Darby's. They call down like this little cable from the
This
the
was
top.
scary.
Yeah, this was very scary because I'm like, oh my god, Okada and Nick have to do this perfectly. They've obviously practiced this. Probably.
I thought they were calling down the cage. That's what I thought they were doing at first.
Nah, but so they call down the cable. Okada and Nicholas are fucking wrapping this guy up. They're fucking tying him in knots while they're fighting off Brian, Cash, and Dax. And then they ended up hoisting Darby up by his fucking feet, dangling. I thought they were gonna do the Age of the Fall thing from Ring of Honor with Jay Briscoe, where Seth Rollins and Jimmy Jacobs and Necro Butcher ended up cutting Jay Briscoe, and then Jimmy Jacobs stood under him in a white suit, and his blood rained down onto
That would
Jimmy
be
Jacobs.
fucking insane.
They had the thumbtack sneakers on, and with no protection, they fucking nailed Darby in the face with 2 thumbtack super kicks. He did not have his mask on, his nose mask on.
This was but before that, I think, because Darby took a shot somewhere. I think that this was the first time I noticed, small detail, first time Darby gigged, because I saw Rick Knox hand him something when he went to go check on him. Because normally Darby gets busted open the hard way, and we know this because he posts on his fucking Instagram and Twitter, got 18 staples today because of this, got 20 stitches because of that.
But Darby, he's fucking hanging
the exploding
up
chair.
Yeah. Yeah, Dax comes in, and then fucking he gets hit with an exploding chair. Then Okada gets a sleeve out with thumbtacks on it, and then he gives Cash Wheeler a fucking thumbtack rainmaker. And then here comes Bryan Danielson. He starts fighting off
The crowd chanting, "Help Darby!"
He starts, "Please help Darby!" He starts giving the yes kicks to the Bucks and Okada. But then Bryan ends up getting taken out. And at the end of the match, they hit the I forgot what the
it was
actual finish.
I think.
Oh, that's what it was. Actually, yeah, I remember. It was they put Bryan down, and here comes Jack Perry back.
God, that
Jack
double
Perry
super
comes
kick
back.
was gnarly to Darby.
Jack Perry comes back, and he hits his knee right into the face of Bryan Danielson, and pins Bryan Danielson to clinch the victory for the Elite. The Elite win Anarchy in the Arena in a fucking one of the most crazy, chaotic matches I've ever seen in my life. This was fucking unbelievable, and it capped off an amazing, amazing, amazing pay-per-view.
They don't miss on these pay-per-views very
no.
often.
Oh no.
It's fucking.
What?
They
I thought AEW was dying.
I would like since Darby was upside down for a solid 5 minutes, which
Dude, I started to get worried. Like, is he still conscious?
Yeah, I was afraid, but yeah, that was how they went off, and yeah, great stuff. Excellent show.
How, like, it's always interesting on, we always say, how are they gonna top this pay-per-view, how are they gonna top that pay-per-view. This one I feel might be slightly harder to top after, like, the fire, the putting Darby upside down and super kicking him.
Well, it's all
in the
it's
face.
all, I mean, it's not like it's new. But I will say this though. Yeah, very, very excited for Forbidden Door, which is next pay-per-view. I will not be on the Forbidden Door pre or post show because I will be at the show.
There might not be a pre or post show, to be honest. I might just have that one.
I have not gotten tickets yet, but I full on plan on buying them.
And I'm in a different state.
Yep, but
See if you can get Gary, maybe.
Maybe he might go, to be honest, if he comes home.
Oh yeah, that's true.
If anything, I'll probably do a watch along.
Yep.
Do that.
There you go.
But all right, guys. Wrestler of the day. So say we send a week. We do wrestler of the day. I'm gonna give it to Darby. Fucking did crazy shit. Practically died. And yeah. All right.
I'll give mine to Mercedes Moné. Great first match back.
I'll give mine to Jack Perry for 2 reasons. One, for agreeing to let himself get set on fire, literally.
When your dad's in Hollywood, you tend to pick things up.
And 2, for giving us a great new Tony Khan meme of rolling down the fucking ramp.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next Wednesday, not this Wednesday. Depending on how stuff goes, Christian will do a solo show.
I'll be home, but I might not be able to watch the entire show. Depending.
I'll be at work because I'm off today, which then means I'm working Wednesday.
It's all going to depend on how fast the Mets play on Wednesday.
All right, guys, we appreciate you all, and we'll see you when we see you. Peace.